Welcome, everyone, to the second session of the Growth Acceleration series. Woohoo! Great to see everybody. I know it's going to be a fun journey tonight because we will be, in fact, talking about something that is actually very new for this particular year in Toastmasters. It is, in fact, the use of DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, and in this case, of course, inclusivity versus cancel culture. As we can see, we are a very large district. The picture in front of you shows how large we are. We stretch all the way from Switzerland through Italy, Malta, Austria, Turkey, Greece, Israel, Cyprus, and Bulgaria, and many, many other countries. And as we can see, all of those, the names that are in bold are the ones that we have actually clubs in, and the others are geographies that fall under us. So when a club is chartered, they will be included. But they are nonetheless a part of our district, and we want to always ensure that the way we work includes all of them. So to help us really learn what it means to have DEI in Toastmasters, I would like to actually, first of all, ask you one short survey question. And you can send in private chat. I couldn't figure out how to do polls here. For some reason, I don't have polls option for me. So send just in private to me because I want it to be anonymous. How would you rate your current knowledge and understanding of diversity and inclusion in the workplace / Toastmasters from 1 to 5, with 1 being very unknowledgeable about DEI and diversity and inclusion, to 5 being very knowledgeable about it? So,
and I would request to split the question into parts. So your answer can be, for example, rate 3 in workplace and 1 in Toastmasters, or vice versa.
yes, that could work very well. So far, I've received a 5, a 3, a 4. So knowledgeable, mostly knowledgeable, or knowledgeable enough. Could you do the yes? There we go. This just so that you can reference it in case you forgot what the question was. 4, 4, 5. Yeah, I'm saying 3, 4, 5. So people are generally knowledgeable about inclusivity and understanding of diversity in the workplace and in Toastmasters. I'm getting it for both. Very good. So that means we know how to start, and we know how we can continue and grow from there. So, excuse me. To help us learn more about what it means to have diversity in and inclusivity in Toastmasters, I would like to introduce someone who I've found to be a very dear friend, and of course a good colleague as well. She has been a Toastmaster since 2014, is a member of many clubs. I believe 6 clubs, at least, active member of 6 clubs or 7 clubs in Italy, in Bulgaria, in Switzerland. She's also sponsoring another 2 clubs right now, one in Switzerland and another in Sicily, in the Sicilian language. So she is a very, very, very active Toastmaster. Of course, she has learned much throughout her journey and comes from a background of living in many places. She is originally herself from Sicily, but also lived for 10 years in Germany, has also lived back and forth between Bucharest and in Milan for many, many years as well, which all are all world-class cities that have so much diversity and so many different people from so many different cultures that you need to learn how to live with it. So, without further ado, our district director, Francesca Gammicchia. Woohoo!
Thank you, Laura, for this amazing presentation and for remember me my bio. which comes with my age also, of course. So nice to see you here, everybody, and nice people from District 109 and also from cousin district, brother district, our Elizabeth Jordan. Thank you for coming here and joining us. It's very nice to see you here. I'm delivering this workshop for three many reasons. The first is that our district, District 109, it's a very large and broad district, as we show before in the map. Another reason is also because the World Headquarter provided the trio members. Trio means me, District Director, Katia, Program Quality Director, and Laor, Club Growth Director, with the training regarding inclusion, diversity and inclusion. So the topic is becoming very relevant day by day. And I think I can add also some reason. For example, if we look at the world, at the economical world, the business world, a 2022 study from Mechile, they discovered, examining a very large source number of companies, that the companies, they foster inclusion and diversity in their ethical code, they are more successful in business as well. So this is something that it's not only a blah, 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 it's something that can have concrete results. You replied to the survey that you are knowledgeable about diversity and inclusion. So for many of you attending today, maybe some concept will be a repetition and can be just a rehearsal if you want. But for people, they will watch this video later, maybe will be something new. So I will try to address the different audience that we have that we can have today and also later on. Some workshop goal that I would like to mention, so we are all on the same page. This is a basic workshop, so we are not going deep into details, but we want to offer an overview about diversity and inclusion, and also what is the risk connected to trying to being too democratic or try to include in ways that we think they are good, but maybe they are not really inclusive. And this is not really inclusion. So workshop goal are understand the core concept from the Toastmasters Diversity and Inclusion basic trainings, acknowledge the different types of diversity and common barriers in Toastmasters clubs, reflect on our personal experience and unconscious bias, and also stimulate an inclusive leadership in the role of members, officers, and mentors. And last but not least, we will identify all together behaviors and best practice that can help create a more inclusive culture within our clubs. These workshops is divided in three main sections. The first is information, so what is diversity, what is inclusion. The second segment will help us to explore more what are unconscious bias and microaggressions. And the third one is the building inclusive club culture. So let's start with information. This is a workshop, you know, so I'm not going to tell everything. I want also to listen from your point of view and what you know. Please write in the chat in 3 words what represent your identity. And for example, it can be mother, introvert, Italian, LGBT friend, coach, whatever you think that define you in 3 words, if you want. Of course, you are not obliged.
Would you like them to send in the group, in the overall chat, or in private to you?
Overall chat.
Okay, so make sure you're sent to everyone and not just to me if you still have sent to me.
you can assign me also as co-organizer, and if someone feel that he wants to write it to me in private, it's also doable. So I put also in the slide the spoiler, you know, so you can read already what is the next step, the next question. And the next question is, how many of these identities are welcomed in our typical club meeting? And maybe I say in your typical club meeting. So think about the club you are member. And if you are member in different clubs, you can tonight you can focus just on one club, and when you will be alone at your home, you can repeat the exercise for every different club you belong to. Then there's another question, and this question, it's just for you. If you want to share, you are welcome to share. But if you don't want, you can keep the answer for yourself. And the question is, are there any parts of yourself you tend to hide, and why? So, Laura, please give us 5 minutes.
Very well.
To put those answers in the chat or in our workbook. And I ask all the attendees, when you are ready, when you answer this question, please open your camera so I can see that you completed your answer, and we can have a little discussion about it. Okay, nice. I see that we are we started to reply the question about the club's behavior. Hassan, belly. Me too. by the way. Okay, since I'm sharing the screen and I am the speaker, Laura, please, can you spotlight my image so people can feel more comfortable in sharing their picture? Because in the recording, we will see only the spotlighted person. Good. Okay, let's have a little talk. Yoko, you put in the chat that in your club welcomes any nationality, gender, age. Okay, of course, as permitted by the rules, beliefs, etc., etc. Can you open the microphone?
Yes.
And give us an example? So, for example, you can say, for example, that 3 meetings ago, blah, blah, blah. So, concretely.
Yes. Normally, our club has a friendly ambience, and guests and members enjoy the club meetings. But time after time, there's one specific club member who likes to deliver speech on very provocative themes, such as holding many guns at home is the right thing to do. And it will make some members and also guests who are suffering from the conflict they have some relatives and friends in a conflict zone, and makes them really awkward. And even though the club allows any topic to discuss, sometimes those specific very strong position, and he's not trying to be funny or anything, he's just trying to make people think. It's not just the right and wrong, there are gray zones, and there are many aspects that we need to think about. But sometimes I see guests leaving the room because they're not comfortable with the topic.
So how you address this problem in your club?
Well, for this specific speaker, we will normally do a disclaimer. You might not be comfortable with the topic that you're going to hear. So feel free to leave the room if you're not feeling comfortable. But this is also your opportunity to ask questions and also express yourself.
Okay. Thank you, Yoko, for this information. And let's take a little note, because we can speak this regard also later. Moving forward, then we can now see some definition in order to be on the same page, because definitions can change a little bit from country to country, from culture to culture. So this is what in the Toastmasters world we understand. And also, I would say that this definition is still valid also in the dictionary. Diversity. The term diversity in the workplace refers to different personal, physical, and social characteristics, like, for example, but it's not only, gender, ethnicity, age, and education. Diversity can also include a difference of view, perception, and opinions. And this is very important to take in mind. It's also the being inclusive. It's also the capability to include other and different opinions. It's not only related to gender or ethnicity or race. Inclusion, by definition, in the workplace refers to the deliberate effort to ensure people of diverse backgrounds that they feel welcomed, valued, respected, and supported. Inclusion introduces concrete methods and strategy to make diversity work. So, for example, in Toastmasters, this year during my term, I declared at the beginning of my term that I want to have an inclusive district. And for that reason, some actions are related to this vision, because it's not only being inclusive, it's not only a matter of mindset, but also a matter of actions that you take. In one sentence, we can say that diversity means difference and inclusion means the ability to include the difference in your family, in your company, in your club, in your area, in your division, in your district, in your region, and so on. Let's start to focus on some very important detail. Inclusion is very diverse of integration. We do not explore now the detail, the concept and the definition about integration. But let me give you a general description of the difference. Integration means that there is a subject which is more powerful, or that this subject feel that he, she is more powerful. And then this subject integrate another subject. So, for example, when I say that in my country, we integrate people coming from the XXX Exodus. That means I am the powerful country, I have the power to host people from the Exodus, and I am integrating them in my society. So general, the concept of integration, it's also a good concept, no? But if we extend this mindset to our behavior, and I say, for example, oh, I am a very inclusive person. You know, my housekeeper is coming from the XXX country. Oh, I am very inclusive person. I don't have anything towards homosexual people. They can do whatever they want. You may understand that those sentences are a little bit awkward, correct? Because there's something that I'm not saying, but I am expressing, and that is, I feel more powerful. I feel to be right, so I am tolerating others. I am integrating others in my life, which is slightly different of being inclusive. Some food for thought. You can take this question for your workbook, for later, for the workshop that you will deliver at your club, area, or division. Which part of your identity makes you feel welcome? And which part often goes unnoticed? You will discover a treasure when you deliver a workshop inside your club and people reply to this question. I suggest you to do it anonymous using post-it and attach the post-it on the wall.
Francesca, by the way, you're not sharing your screen because you stopped it on purpose.
Really? Because it seems I am sharing my screen.
Are others seeing it?
I see it.
I'm sharing as virtual.
Okay, that might be on my side.
I see it also.
Okay, that's my side.
Thank you for detecting this. Let's do a little group activity now. There are different areas to explore when we speak about inclusivity, inclusion, and diversity. Let's start with the first area that we can explore, which is one of the most common in the workplaces, race and ethnicity. You all can open your microphone. Please raise your hand so I can see, I can call you respecting the pipe, respecting the queue. And the questions are, what barriers might people face in Toastmasters? So generally, not even, you are not forced to reply specifically in your club. But if you want to bring the sample of your club, you can do it. The question is general. What barriers might people face in Toastmasters? Laor?
Well, I mean, the very easy one is language, simply language. The fact that some people speak English without an accent and others speak very much with an accent, and it might bring some sort of thoughts that just because you don't speak English so well, you're not as strong, right? Maybe if it's for contests or for other reasons, for example, it might affect you or your outcome in Toastmasters.
Yeah, true. For example, I felt for several years my English level was not enough to be a district leader. So I didn't even thought to apply for a district leader position. That's very true. This is a barrier. Nestor.
I think it's the level of understanding of English. Sometimes we write one thing, meaning something different, and it comes across as a third translation. I think its communication sometimes means one thing for the person sending, and sometimes to the receiver gets to be a different thing. It's attached to the same element of Lauer's, is the English level. That's what I think empathy will hit.
This is a consequence of the diversity in the level of English. Katja.
Right. Some people belong to some countries that are more rich than others. It means that maybe they can attend more district events or events in general. And sometimes this means also to have some barriers.
Yeah. Margherita.
Well, at club level, something very simple, which is all the physical challenges. I give you an example. In my country, it is known that around 8% of the male population is colorblind. We are showing the time with red, green, and yellow. When we have contests, we write the names of the contestants on a flip chart. If you sit far away and you have sight issues, you will not be able to read it. And I can go on, and we never even think about it.
Very, very true. Very, very true. I recently gave a feedback, I'm not mentioning where exactly, but I gave a feedback and I asked, please, 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 be inclusive towards people like me that we don't read anymore this very small text. So. Hassan.
I never thought about it. So, color blindness. Oh, thank you, Margarita. I don't know if it's a barrier, but being evaluated is a challenge for most of the newcomers. And after their first evaluations, they disappear.
Okay. Yes, I do believe that we can consider a barrier because this belongs to, that it's something in the culture. In many cultures, feedback are often criticism, harsh criticism instead of food for improvement. Then the second question, what action can a club take to be more inclusive? And we had example now, correct? So regarding the language, the money, the physical challenge, we had already some example from Margherita regarding hard evaluation. So what actions can a club take to be more inclusive? Damien.
I came 5 years ago to learn English. And what helped me was first the fact that I could go after the meeting to the restaurant or bar with them, even if I understood only 30% of what they said. It was for me exercise, and I was well accepted with that. And when I showed some bad thoughts about that, saying, "Oh, I'm too bad. It's not possible." Always, they're always there to say, "Hey, no, you don't have to say that. Please make a deal, and we do that together." So that means they were here to support us. So it's what the club make that very well to embrace our complex, and then that we can go over this complex.
Okay, if I
Because
understood
now yes, because now I'm not anymore. I'm not any more complex about the language. Before, I was so perfectionist that I wouldn't share a sentence without be sure that there would be some mistake. No, thanks to them, I can just talk, and even with the mistake, what is important for me is if my message is conveyed correctly.
correct. Translated into executive club actions, that means educate the mentors, for example, or the president can give some thoughts during the opening of the meeting. Okay, because we need to translate what is individual actions like you did or your mentor did into a strategy action of in our club success plan if we are club officer. Nice. I think we can, and we can reinforce those messages in the social events after meeting. Perfect. So everybody take notes. This question that this little exercise that we did together in these 5-10 minutes, you can organize a workshop in your club, in your area, or in your division, and you can focus on different topics. So you can, if for example your club is composed by 20 members, you can divide your audience into groups of 5 to 7 members maximum. Each group will receive 2 dimensions from the list. So you can pick, for example, age and gender, sexual orientation and age. So give them something to reflect. And then give time to reflect on the thoughts, as we did, write it on the post-it, put the post-it on the wall, and each group can share one key insight with the whole club. And this workshop will help your club members to become more aware about what diversity inclusion means in Toastmasters, in the Toastmasters Club. And when after this workshop, you will receive also the slides, and at the bottom of the slides, I added for you some little exercise, some attachment that you can recycle. Okay, we saw what diversity inclusion means. Now let's go to the hot word, the hot concept of discrimination. Discrimination, by definition, is the different treatment of a person based on their membership in a specific group in comparison to the others. So I like this definition very much. Specifically, I like this part, in comparison to the others. That means that discrimination has a lot to do with the concept of majority and norm. If I belong a group, and this group, let's think about race, ethnicity, for example. I am a white woman born in Italy, and so on. So in my country, in my city, Milano, in my quartier, I can say, my neighborhood, the majority of the citizens are white. This is the majority. With the majority comes also some norms. For example, in my neighborhood, which is made by several villetta, little villa, where 2-3 families lives, the norm is that we clean the street in front of our house. I can say that in my little group, in my neighborhood, made by white female people, we like to clean the street, the little piece of street in front of our house. Okay, is this the rule? Is this the law in Italy? No. But this is the norm in this little piece of society. So every time that we are doing something that we think it's very common and very normal and very right, we can ask ourselves, is this by law? Or this is just because the majority of the people is doing that? Because is this the norm of my club, or this is a rule of Toastmasters? This is a good question. This is a norm of my club, or this is a rule of Toastmasters? Discrimination, and now we are going a little bit into what Toastmasters shared with us, which is, let's say, something US-based. Discrimination in the workplace is illegal in the US based on the following: race, color, age, disability, genetic information, including family medical history, national origin, sex, including pregnancy, sexual orientation, gender identification, religion. I can say that in many countries of our district, those rules apply as well, but everybody is responsible to verify the law in their own country. So don't take only in consideration the law in the US, but also the law in your country. Now I need the help of some of you. Who wants to be the reader? Damien, I see you. Please, can you read the slide?
Remember to unmute.
Title 7 of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 is a federal law that prohibits employment discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, and national origin. It also makes retaliations illegal.
Thank you very much. Elizabeth, can you read this?
Yes, I'm happy to.
One sec. I need to move the spotlight. I'm not that
No,
quick.
no. Don't move the spotlight.
Right, now keep the spotlight on Madam District Director. ADA, the Americans with Disabilities Act, ADA, is a federal law that prohibits discrimination against individuals with disabilities in all areas of public life and requires employers to provide reasonable accommodations.
Thank you very much. Dear Laor, please.
The ADEA, the Age Discrimination in Employment Act, is a federal law that prohibits employment discrimination against individuals aged 40 and older. It covers hiring, promotions, layoffs, pay, benefits, job assignments, and training. Back to you, Madam Speaker.
You can read also the next one.
Is it because I'm radiophonic? Okay.
Yes.
The Equal Pay Act of 1963. The Equal Pay Act of 1963 is a federal law that requires employers to pay men and women equally for doing the same work. This means that sex discrimination or the unjust treatment of individuals based on their gender or sex is illegal.
Thank you very much. And in addition to all these federal laws, we have also many other anti-discrimination law in the states, in the United States, at local levels. And we have our own law in our own country. So I tell it one more time, especially for district officer and club officers, we are responsible for knowing the law of our specific country. And this in order to treat each and every member with equity and inclusivity. This is a little exercise, but this is more for newbies, so you can do it later at home, the people that are watching the video later, but here I think many of us are already well informed. So each of these topic here in the three folder belongs to a concept: discrimination, diversity, inclusion. For the sake of the time, I will skip now this. In the workplace, let's do focus, because this information it can be relevant for you at your workplace, but also can help you to reflect about your mindset in your club. Some example of discrimination in hiring, also promotion and compensation that you can receive as an employee. For example, some job descriptions are biased. When we prepare the job description, and this apply also for us in the core team, when we propose a project, you know that in District 109 webpage, there is a session, work with us, grow with us. And when we prepare these job descriptions, because the description of the project are in fact a job description, we need to take care also about this matter, inclusion and diversity. That for us means, for example, include people coming from different divisions, not only including people with different background, education, etc., in the project. Lack of transparency regarding promotion criteria. This is something that can happen also in our club. I'm not speaking about promotion criteria, but for example, when the area director offer the possibility to be contest master at the area contest or contest master at the division contest and so on. If this information is not spread toward all the members, but it is spread only toward your friends or the people you think they are more adequate, this is lack of transparency. Our club officer duty is to give the information to everybody, and then we help everybody to understand what are the requirements of the task. Unequal training and advancement access. For example, I remember when I was an employee many years ago that some training they were, let's say, deserved only by a certain group of employees. And salary pay gaps, we know already, we know what we are talking about. It's not necessary to explore those concepts. In the Toastmasters training I have received, I found very, very interesting those 4 types of discrimination. We have direct discrimination. We usually don't do it in Toastmasters. We have indirect discrimination. Everyone is subjected to be catched in this trap. We have harassment and retaliation. I would say direct discrimination is direct. You recognize it very soon because it's like, whoa, direct. Indirect, it's something very subtle. And it occurs every time we disadvantages one group over another group. We will go into details and into example. Harassment, it's like, yeah, harassment is already something a little bit more violent because it's like when we use, for example, nicknames. Nicknames, they are not decided by the person who is carrying the nickname. This is a kind of harassment, okay? What matter for us in as club officer and district officer, and also as simple club member, are these unconscious bias and microaggression. I'm underlying this because we know that in Toastmasters we are all good people. Okay, maybe I'm generalizing too much, and this is a kind of discrimination. But generally, what all members around the world in Toastmasters say is that we are here because we want to improve ourselves. So we perceive this purpose of personal growth. And we understand that to be in a Toastmasters club, we need to help each other. So those are common traits all around the world. And with the base of these common traits of all around the world, we know that when we do a mistake, usually it's because of ignorance or because of some unconscious bias, not because we want it. But we need to be aware of what we can do, even if we don't want to do. Unconscious bias is when we are assuming someone's background or ability. For example, I am assuming that if I present myself to Laure, and Laure is a very bad person, I say, hello, I am Francesca Gammicchia, I'm from Sicily. And Laure replied to me, oh, so do you like spaghetti and mafia? I can smile. Or, and you talk a lot with hands, correct? And you don't speak English so well because Italians, you like to talk with hands. Okay, this very sympathetic version of Laure is someone that he's assuming some background or ability. I might say, for example, hey, I was born in Sicily, but I lived all my life in Milano. And or Laura can discover that I can speak English with very fluent English with no accent. So it's something that you are assuming when you don't have many information regarding a person, or when you don't want to listen about the history of this person, of this member. Some unconscious bias occurs, for example, when we give more attention to people that are similar to us. And believe me, this is very natural because this is part of our defense systems. This attitude is born with us. It's in our DNA. So nothing bad in doing it, but then you can also be aware of it and take actions to don't do it again when you are aware, when you are conscious of this bias. And for example, what can happen at the club is that there is a club contest, so you have contest at club level, and you make win the person that is usually very charismatic in each and every speech that this person is delivering, even if the day of the club contest maybe is not the best. And this is because you relate with this person, you give more attention to this person that is more similar to you. It's your club comrade. Well, usually it's good. I'm also so usually I'm also good. That means, or you give attention to a person that is your age, because you think that if this person has my same age and my same educational background, then it's similar to me, and this person will be very capable as I am in doing this task. So those are all unconscious things that happens, occur in our mind without even noticing it. And what we can do is ask questions to ourselves. Do I am offering this space to this person because this person really deserve it according to the rules that we have, according to the criteria established in the club success plan, according to the criteria established in the governing documents of Toastmasters, and so forth and so on. Example of microaggression. So what are those microaggressions? Well, it's like I saw it, I told it before, you speak English so well, like for being an Italian. Or that's not how we usually do things here. Oh, this is a very nice microaggression. Some food for your thought to write in your workbook, or if you want to discuss within your club executive committee or doing a workshop in your club is, have you ever witnessed or experienced a microaggression? How do you felt, and what the club can do to avoid microaggressions? Some unconscious bias very often occur with, let's say, situations related with race and ethnicity. This happen all around the world. It can happen also at Toastmasters. So let's see some difference. Race is a political and social construct. The term is used to group people and is often based on physical characteristics, appearance, and social factors. Historically, racial classifications were developed to identify, distinguish, and marginalize certain groups across nations, regions, and the globe. That's because we now tend to give a bad label to the word race, but in origin it is you know, a neutral word. In origin it was. Ethnicity refers to a person's identifications with a group. Those groups will share common ancestrals, social, cultures, or national experience and characteristics. Or language, customs, values, and belief. For example, when I say I am a Sicilian, I am expressing my ethnicity. In basic terms, we can say that race describes the physical traits and focuses more on how others perceive you, while ethnicity refers to the self-identification within a culture. So it is more how I perceive myself. And here are some examples. Race, we can categorize a certain group of people in the race of Native American. But then if we speak about ethnicity, then inside this group of people, they have the physical traits of Native American, we will discover that there are many different identities. Someone will tell you, I am a Navajo. And someone will tell you, I am Blackfeet, Aztec, etc., etc. White, I am a white woman. But if I speak with Lahore, for example, I tell I am an Italian, I am a Sicilian. I don't say I am a white woman, because I identify myself with my ethnicity. And yes, Margherita, your comment is very true. We need to take account about the differences, the huge differences that we have in our country, that we use also in our country. So how we can build in our club a culture of inclusivity? I think we need 4 steps. It's not the definition of racism. What is racism? Not well the definition. Acknowledge that often racism, especially in Toastmasters, it's not our common behavior, and it's not a direct racism, but it can be covered. It's often a covert racism. It's something that sometimes even myself I'm not recognizing. So acknowledge racism, and in details in our behavior, in our club behavior. This is the 3rd step. And then have respectful and thoughtful discussions about it. So don't avoid the discussion. This will not foster your the building of an inclusive culture if you avoid the discussion. But this is something that you can find in the handout later for your to use in your club. Let me add some word about ageism, because I saw myself, I have experienced myself, I witnessed myself ageism in the Toastmasters world. For example, I see that a young person was discriminated because he was young. So it was supposed that this person would not be able to perform a district officer role just because it was too young. Is this true? No. I can tell you also that this person, the term of this person has already finished. This was some years ago. And this individual concluded the year in a very successful way. And this individual left also a legacy that other people today are following. So ageism is something that can relate to both to person in the young age, but also by people that are, let's say, now in their 40 or 50, like me, for example. This is so assuming that someone is too young to lead or too old to learn. This is a very clear expression of ageism. It can be true. Let me say something also. It can be true. It can be true that that this specific young individual is too young to lead, but this is not the rule. This is something specific for a person that we are evaluating in that moment. It can be true that a member is now too old to learn something, but this is not the rule. This is just the characteristic of this single member. and we need to recognize it when we are doing an ageism, or when it is the truth of this specific person. Laor or Damien, please. Read this scenario and
Religion and spirituality. Maya, a practicing Hindu, wants to celebrate Diwali by decorating a shared corner of the office with lights. Non-religious co-worker James feels uncomfortable with the lights and opposes religious displays at work. In response to James' concerns, the manager is considering implementing a rule that bans any religious office display. True or false? The manager's decision to ban all religion displays promotes a diverse and inclusive workplace environment.
Who wants to reply this question? Is true or false?
False.
Okay, why?
And on the other hand, it has to be celebrating all the religions that is possible. And I think that is the general norm that we see in the United Nations. We have all the holidays of all religions.
Exactly. So their attitude of being inclusive is to give every religion to be celebrated, to have celebration for each religion. What in our district now, if we go concretely in the life of our district, we are, and in our clubs, we are a volunteer organization where the time of the people is limited. And I understand it very well. Now the presentation is going to finish, because we are we talk about inclusion, the difference inclusion and cancel cultures. We understand that since our time is limited, sometimes the clubs, they don't have the time to give space to the expression of each and every religion. Or sometimes the club, they don't have the money to buy all the national flags that represent their club members. So sometimes we need to face the reality. And the reality will bring us to decide, okay, we avoid this discussion, we avoid this topic, we avoid to celebrate religion, national day that are connected to religion. Exactly. Or what about people that don't have religion? So those questions are there. And when we face the reality, we need to if we want to be inclusive, this will require a special effort. And this special effort for our clubs, area, division, and district means time, means resources, means energy, means a lot of things. It's okay if you are not inclusive sometimes because of the lack of time, energy, money, and so on. So long you are fair. You need to be fair. And also, this doesn't mean that you can be not inclusive all the time. So think about it, because maybe your club doesn't have the money to buy all national flags. But maybe your president can have the time to opening the meeting, celebrating the national religion of every member that is included in the club, and sometimes and for one day also give space to the one they are atheist, and have some thoughts also for decide a day for these people. They don't belong to any religion. So inclusion means acknowledge the others, the rights that the other people have. Inclusion means I understand that I am like this and you are different. And we both are at the same level. We both have the same rights. Why I tell it? Because if we decide to go for the rule that we avoid, we avoid this and we avoid that, at the end of the day, we will avoid so many things that we will not have an identity more. And this is not. The legend that in Toastmasters we cannot speak about religion, politics, and sex. This is a legend. If you go to the governing documents, the policy, you will see that Toastmasters foster the discussion about divisive topic because we are in this organization to learn how to communicate properly. We are in this organization to learn to know your audience and address your audience in a respectful way. And this doesn't mean that you avoid to talk about something. Of course, as I said before, you need to know the law in your country, because in some countries, not in our district, but in some countries, maybe you are not allowed. It is forbidden to talk about some topic, to talk about politics, to talk about sexual orientation. Of course, if in the country is forbidden, don't do it, okay? Because this is the law. So know the law of your country. Know the principle of Toastmasters. The principle of Toastmasters is you can speak about every topic you want, but you need to do in a respectful way. For example, if you want to talk about politics, you can do it, but this is not allowed to do apologies of fascism, for example. In Italy, this is forbidden. But you can deliver a talk about fascism, even in Italy, if it is an informative talk. Okay. The information about inclusivity, diversity, discrimination is concluded. I would like now to give time to those of you who have some questions or comment in this regard.
Mic's open, folks. Denise.
Thank you very much for a nice session. I want to say something that I heard or I learned about discrimination, inclusion and diversity. Diversity is called, they say, diversity is called to be invited to the party, and then inclusion is invited to dance together. So
also very I can translate this also with some metaphor, for example, or attitude. Me personally, I like to face the other with curiosity. So when I talk with a person that I don't know at all, or maybe a person that I know for a very long time, 20 years, sometimes even for those people that I know from a very long time, I go there and they say, oh, today I want to listen with curiosity. If we have curiosity to understand the other, then probably inclusion will also be part of the discussion. Elizabeth, please.
Thank you, Madam District Director. I think one opportunity we all have to talk about this topic is core values, because we have a tendency to recite them, you know, integrity, respect, service, excellence. But what can be helpful is to break them down and think, how do we live the core values? And when you have a conversation about integrity, about respect, it's one way you can include DEI without making it too heavy, making it totally relatable, and inviting examples. So certainly when I was DD last year, it's something I did often, because I think, and not only at the DLT level, but all across the district, we'd have this discussion about living the core values. What does that mean in practice? And that seemed to work quite well. So that's just a suggestion for integrating the two topics. Thank you.
Thank you too. I might have forget to underline the importance of translate abstract concept into examples. I'm an atoll, you know that I am not all. So, and for me, for example, and a goal getter. If I have a goal, I want to achieve this goal. So for me, respect means I respect my promise. I promise my member that I will do this, and I will work night and day to do this. But maybe for some of my team members, respect means don't call me, don't text me at 3 o'clock in the night because I am sleeping, I am with my family. Don't do it. So it is very important to ask our team members, what does it mean respect, integrity, service, excellence for you? Give me an example, and give me also an example where this value was mistreated, so I can understand exactly what I have not to do with you. Very, very useful. Godela, and then I would like to add something that was an experience of someone else, an example, and it might be beneficial for all of you.
First of all, dear Francesca, thank you so much for your presentation. I think this is a very difficult topic to talk about. Then I would like to stress what Elizabeth had said. We cite the core values of Toastmasters, and often we have to fill it with content and not only a citation. And I think this should be done more often in, I don't know, educational speeches, or also with personal, to be a role model for the others, to show how these values can be lived. And I think also, so the examples that you said, for instance, if someone has one religion and he shows everything of his religion, does not mean that I'm not inclusive for me. Because I think it's important that with my heart, I have place for everybody. And probably in one point now, this is the day of talking about Hinduism, or this is the day I'm talking about something else. But I am curious. I think this, what you said, is a very good word. Be curious about all the diversity that is in our world. Full stop.
Yeah, you said good. Every club, I think that every club or division team or area team, we need to find our way to be inclusive. It can be the speech of the president, but it can be also a speech marathon that you dedicate to religions or politics or that. I mean, just brainstorm within your club or within your team, because this is important. Maybe this is the very important thing, that we talk, we face the topic and we talk about it, and we decide together how we want to be inclusive in our theme. Adriana. Laura, I see. I'm going to conclude. Laura, promise.
No, it's okay.
Thank you so much for this opportunity to be with you, and congratulations, Francesca, for your training presentation, and it was very, very more information. It's good information, of course, about inclusion, and we all the time. And also I see a very, very good point, because it's happened also with me when I started to work, because for me, I am focused. I want to achieve goals and do this, but maybe some of my members, they don't have this my style of work. So I found, for me, I am very active on the everything WhatsApp, and for them, of course, don't disturb, or they don't respond, and I was become crazy. So this is very important to know exactly the people, what kind of the preference they have to communicate. And also I want just to raise one problem. For example, in the contest, it's happens sometimes, you know, the jokes about sexuality or undercover the sexuality, it's going very well, and people, they are laughing. So I was many times in some contests which I see people, they do this kind of speeches, people, they laughing. And also the problem was when the speech was evaluated, some of these kind of people, they win. But in the fact, the speech, it was very bad quality. So how we can do it? Because this is, it's, you know, it's, if I say it, it's no allowed to speak about sexuality. They put me the book in front. They say, no, where it's right, we cannot talk. So we can talk anything in the speech. So the speech, how you can raise the quality and to not promote this kind of, let's say, sexuality on the speeches.
Okay, okay. I will leave Katia and Margherita reach out to you privately to go into details, because they are expert. For what concern myself, my experience, your question is twofold. One is educate the contestant that know your audience. It's very important. So don't arrive to the contest with your prepared speech that you know by heart, and you don't look at the people that they are in front of you, because this is a big mistake, in my opinion. And the second is educate the judges. In the judge ballot, it's written audience reaction. So it's, when I am a judge, it's not only me and this ballot, it's me and look how the audience react if I want to do a perfect judgment. But most of the time it's, you know, that judges are just alone with the speaker and the ballot. And that's it. So for me, the reply is the reply to your question is twofold. And then you can go into details regarding what, because it is very specific. We need to know what sentences they were used exactly. It's a journey, yes. Okay, guys, we spent together already 20 minutes more than the allocated time. So if you want to go, you go. I wish to stay 5 minutes more to express, to tell you about 2 examples and have a final call to action for you, for those people that want to stay 5 minutes more. The examples, money. We started this meeting touching the topic about money, and it is not a rule that if I'm coming from a country where the currency is strong, I am a wealthy person. Let's say, for example, Switzerland. The stereotype in our district is that Swiss people are very, very rich. Okay. In many cases, this is true. Most of the time, they are the members, they can afford to attend this event and that event and this event. Okay, and Nestor is smiling because he's living in Switzerland. But you never know if a Swiss member living in Switzerland is paying for mother assistant, children's school, this and that, and at the end of the month, he has or she has not enough money to afford a specific event. And for the same reason, it is not true that all the people living in Bulgaria or in Türkiye are poor. This is also another bias, no? Another unconscious bias. Okay, since the country is not wealthy or is very wealthy, then all the members of this country are the same. No, it's not. And this unconscious bias will have a big impact in our membership retention, in our membership acquisition as well. Because when we do advertisement, those biases are in the message we build. And the other example I would like to address is this is in the business environment. I was helping in a company where some person went to, you know, they had children, little children. So everybody was very cute and feeling and empathize with these mothers, with these parents, they have little children. But what about the people that don't have children? Do they not need vacation as well? So you see, unconscious bias are very, very stick in our culture and in our personal background. Just put it in question. And with that said, I conclude with a quote from Maya Angelou. She's an activist. Do the best you can until you know better. And when you know better, do better. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Laura, for inviting me.
Thank you, Francesca. I think it's been a great, great, great session. If I were to ask you now, the server from the beginning, right, how would you rate your current knowledge and understanding of diversity, inclusion in workplace and Toastmasters? Well, I hope I only helped increase. I don't know if we'll get a 5 out of 5, but if it was a 3, maybe now it's at a 4. And then we know that we improved and we're doing better. And because I know for sure, I know from the faces here, from the responses here, it was a great session. I also want to say a huge thank you to everyone who attended here. Of course, to Francesca, to Program Quality Director Katja, who has been also extremely supportive, to Nestor, the PR manager, to Margarita, Immediate Past District Director. We also have, of course, Yoko, Damian, District 110 Director, Adriana. Hello! Woohoo! Elizabeth, also another friend of the district, as we say, and of course our members from Division G, Division H, Division C, D. I see also A and F, I think, as well. It's always great to see people who are coming to learn more about something. Maybe that they know something, they think about it, they think they know about it, or maybe they didn't know about it. If you have any feedback, please send it to me. I'm welcoming it because this is how I grow as well. As a CGD, as a member of Toastmasters, in my service to you, this is how I can grow. So, send it to me in private because we are running over time already. I think you all have my number in case, or at least my email. And I think I do definitely know all of you. So with that being said, reminder, our next session will be on this Friday evening, April 25th. It will be hosted by, our special guest will be Steve Campion. He's the Club Growth Director of District 71. Woohoo! That's Northern UK plus Ireland. and Wales. And he'll be talking about empowering the workforce and bringing the benefits of Toastmasters to employers and organizations. And it's something that a lot of us struggle with, I think, in the district level stuff. So he'll be talking about how they do it in the UK, and I hope to learn from it in District 09. It's something we're trying to work together as a whole region. So April 25th, see you all there. It will be the same link as this one. We're using the same link, and keep a lookout for the recording of this meeting on our YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, comment. I don't know. Get the engagement up.
Goodbye.
All right.
See you.
Thank you all, and
Ciao.
have a good night, good evening, good morning,
Thank you
good
now
afternoon.
for
Good
organizing
night.
this
Thank
session.
you.
Bye. Thank you, Francesca. Thank you all to be here. Bye.
Thank you.